sounds of the bagpipes to honor a fallen Memphis firefighter. He was laid to rest today.
David Pleasant, a 32-year MFD veteran, killed 2 weeks ago while driving a fire truck to a call when the truck was hit by another vehicle. Fox 13's Dakari Turner is joining us live at the fire station at Pleasant, and his colleagues were responding from before that fatal collision.
Dakari, an emotional day for Pleasant's family, his friends, fellow firefighters. They came from all over, too, to honor him today.
Daryl, Darcy, good evening to you both. I think the word emotional is one way to qualify exactly what happened today. Emotions definitely raw. It was just a little while ago before you guys came to us that his colleagues returned here to Fire Station 8 after paying respects to their fallen brother. Today, hearts were heavy as friends, family, and first responders from around the nation came together to remember the 59-year-old. They came to honor him the best way they knew how. They gathered from all over the country for a final goodbye. A strong salute for fallen Memphis firefighter David Pleasant, a man known lovingly as Plez, killed 2 weeks ago after his fire engine, while responding to a call, rolled over after colliding with a pickup truck when the man driving it ran a red light in South Memphis. Pleasant's casket carefully lifted onto a fire engine en route to his final resting place. Moments earlier, it was up to his 4 daughters to tell everyone about the man they knew as Dad.
My dad died a hero, but the 4 of us chose to speak to make sure that you knew that he lived as a hero as well.
I can't wait to see you again, but until then, I will continue to use the skills and talents that I learned from you.
After hearing from their father's colleagues, many speaking directly to their broken hearts.
To his family and loved ones, we are so sorry.
The men and women of the Memphis Fire Department, and know today, tomorrow, or in the future, we're here for you.
His family presented with Pleasant's badge, helmet, and a Medal of Honor from the International Association of Firefighters. Then it was time to lay him to rest, as his casket is saluted a final time.
David was the epitome of a firefighter. He was an amazing man.
So as I said at the beginning of this report, emotional is just one way to describe exactly what took place there. You see that on full display as a result of everything happening. Now, the Memphis Firefighters Association started a GoFundMe page to support Pleasant and his family. So far, at last check, that had raised close to $60,000. Now, that crash investigation, that does continue. Tonight, Fox 13 obtained a crash investigation report showing that the driver of that pickup truck failed to obey traffic control and speeding. Meanwhile, toxicology tests have been requested, but that same accident report shows they've so far not been fulfilled. We'll have more on that in about an hour. Back to you in the studio.
Dakari, thank you. That's Fox 13's Dakari Turner reporting live tonight.
Well, Pleasant died August 10th in that crash on the way to a call in South Memphis. It happened near Danny Thomas Boulevard and E.H. Crump Boulevard. Pleasant and 4 others, including 3 firefighters, were rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Pleasant died at the hospital.